It's a no makeup day today. Driving to work, my house cleaning. And just want to let everybody know all is good here in Alabama. We've had some really crazy storms this past couple of days over the weekend, and this is Tuesday. August something, I don't know. I don't have a calendar in front of me. But I have seen your comments. I just haven't had a chance to reply back. I'm trying to, y'all. I'm trying to. It's just been really busy. Life in general. Just life in general. And I'm not trying to sound ugly or anything, but I'm serious about this. I do enjoy this channel that I started and restarted. But Becky did have a life before YouTube. And that life still comes first. And that's just how it is. And I will continue to still, Lord willing, to do videos, makeup videos, whatever other kind of videos. I just wanted to, you know, when you drive, you got a little piece to go, little ways to go. You just start thinking about things. And on the Bible app that I have, well, the Bible verse this morning was on the Bible app was Psalm 133 verse 1, and it says, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." Well, it just got me thinking. There used to be a wall plaque that hung in a house that I frequented. And that scripture was on that plaque. And, you know, ever so often, this particular verse comes to my mind. Behold, draw attention to, take notice, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And y'all all know, at our ages, I'm 57, and 58 is coming right on up. So, at our ages here, because I know most of you women are around my age, and probably older. So, you know, we've all been through it. Family situations, friendship situations, and so forth and so forth. And I've said it before. I've said it many times in the past, especially when you have to deal with family problems. And it seems like they're non-ending. Will they ever stop? Will this verse ever come into fruition? Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And I've often said in the past, and I'll still say it, Lord, does that only mean when we get to heaven? Will we ever dwell together in unity here on this earth before you make your return or before you call us home? It does make you wonder. And when you're dealing or have dealt with family matters, problems, big problems, like, can't everyone just get on the same page? I mean, even if it's just for a day, but I guess the way it goes, it almost seems virtually impossible. And sometimes, when you can't get on the same page, and there doesn't seem like there can be any unity, you just gotta draw the line and say, enough. Enough. And the only way you can have peace is to cut ties. And with family members, y'all. With family members that you love. But I hope I'm making sense to y'all. I know what I'm trying to say, but sometimes I can't find the words to actually express what I'm trying to say. Just thinking, y'all. I'm just thinking. You know, we're going to have our trials and we're going to have our tribulations. And sometimes those trials and tribulations come in the midst of people you love. And that's sad. And when you can't find a solution, well, the best thing I know to tell you to do is let them go their way and you go yours. Doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. But if that's the only way that can bring you peace, then you do it. And it's not easy. But if it brings you peace and you can live with it, to me, that's the only solution. And I know we all deal with it. I know we all deal with it. I've talked to a load of people, lots of people, and I've heard their stories. And they basically told me the same thing, you know. You don't want to part with family members, but sometimes you just have to. And but with all that being said, I guess one day we'll all, I mean, I know, I don't guess, I know one day we'll all dwell together in unity. And we'll all be happy. Because we won't, when we're on that other side, we won't have to deal with the devil anymore. And we'll be in the presence of the Lord forever. And that's going to be a great day. It is something to look forward to. So this may sound like a downer and outer, but it's really not. We just got to stay focused on what's ahead of us. And always, always, always ask for the Lord's guidance and His direction in everything we do. But first and foremost, ask for wisdom. And the Lord does say, if any man asks for wisdom, He will give it freely. Man or woman, child, whoever. If you ask for wisdom, and that's something you truly desire, the Lord will give you wisdom to handle whatever you have to deal with. So, there's that. Just thinking out loud, y'all. You never know. You never know what somebody else here is dealing with, and you don't. Words of encouragement. That's just what I've tried to. That's my aim. Just to encourage. Encourage. And what's the old saying? When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So, we're soldiers here. And sometimes that battlefield is just that. It's a battlefield. And sometimes it's an uphill battle. Such is life. be like the men of old, faint yet pursuing. Keep on keeping on, y'all. No matter what you got to deal with, keep on keeping on. God is working all things for our betterment. He's working it all out for our good. Oh, which reminds me, I'm just gonna, okay, on that note, I am going to, I saw this on Facebook and I thought, I like that. And it was just like a paragraph. Just a little paragraph, and I hope I don't mess this up, but it went something like this. There was an old man in a little church, and at the close of the service, the preacher called on him to have the closing prayer. So the old man gets up and he starts off his prayer, and he says, Lord, I don't like buttermilk. And the preacher kind of like, opened up his eyes like, where's he going with this? And then he says, but that's okay. And then he goes on and he says, and Lord, I don't like lard. I don't like it at all. He says, but that's okay. And the preacher is kind of now looking around, halfway opening up his eyes, looking around the congregation like, is this making anybody else uncomfortable? The preacher's still not knowing where he's going with it. And then lastly, he says, and Lord, I don't like flour, like baking, cooking flour. And the preacher again, this time he's not just opening one eye, he's looking around the congregation like, I do not understand this. He says, but Lord, he says, there's a lot of things in this life I don't like. He says, but one thing is for sure, Lord, I do like biscuits. He says, because when you stir all those things up, you get biscuits. And he says, and I love biscuits. He said, so I may not like all these things, dear Lord. But he says, but when you're, when you are stirring these things up and you're working it all in for our good, he said, then I can deal with it. And so I don't know if that just made sense to y'all, but I got it. And I'm like, that made sense to me. I like that little analogy. Is that what you call it? There's some things in life we don't care for. But when we know that God's in control and He's working it all out, mixing it all up for our betterment, trust Him. And maybe we'll all have that biscuit. We will have biscuits. Okay? So I just think I'll leave y'all with that. I'm almost to my cleaning. And maybe when I get done here, if I think about it, I'll go back and see if I can find that post. And if I write it down and maybe come back and read it correctly. But I like that. Anyways, y'all, I'm going to pop off here, get on to my house cleaning, and hopefully be done and out of here and back home to my own cleaning.